This is one of the closest elections we have had in decades. The majority of Indian Americans are, democratic leaning. Trump will not be good for a U.S.-India relation. Trump is running only for one reason: to keep himself out of prison. He's doing it all for himself. He does not have respect for democracy. He wants to be a dictator. America needs India. America needs India to stop the aggression of China.
Congressman Thanedar, thank you so much for talking to me, and I really appreciate your time. To begin with, Tuesday, the big day, is almost here. Talk to us about, the momentum, and talk to us about how you think Vice President Kamala Harris would win this race.
Well, look, this is a very, very close election. This is one of the closest elections we have had in decades. And, Michigan, I represent the state of Michigan in the United States Congress. And Michigan is one of the 7 most critical states. Nobody can be president without winning Michigan. So Michigan has, it's a purple state. It sometimes flips, goes to the Republicans, sometimes it goes to the Democrats. Trump has won Michigan in 2016. So it is very, very close, but we are starting to see some momentum, especially women, young people, people of color like African Americans, Hispanics are starting to move towards Kamala Harris. And what has really helped is Trump has really insulted many of these groups. He has insulted the women, he has insulted the Hispanics, Puerto Ricans. So all of that is causing some migration. Some of the people are now liking and favoring Kamala Harris.
Right. Now, you talked about the swing state, Michigan, 7 states here, a very crucial race. Talk to us about how every vote really counts in this race and how the Indian Americans could play a crucial role in these states, especially.
Yeah, well, look, some of these elections are won or lost by a few thousand votes. Even though millions of people will vote in Michigan, Michigan was won by Trump by only 16,000 votes. Now, there are a lot of Indian Americans in Michigan. More than 50,000 Indian Americans voters are in Michigan. And it's important that they participate. They choose and support a candidate because their vote may be very, very crucial. Their vote might make the winning margin for the winning candidate. So it's very important. Nobody should be sitting at home and not voting. We've made voting very easy now. You can vote by mail, you can vote in person, absentee voting, and certainly you can go to the election day on November 5th and exercise your right all day long.
Now, traditionally, the Indian Americans have always voted for the Democrats, but recent study really shows, by the Carnegie Institute, shows that how there is this slight uptick in, Trump's, in the Indian Americans, voting for Trump. Does that worry you as a Democrat going forward, or even in this election?
Not really. Not really. I think still majority of Indian Americans are, democratic leaning. But look, this is Indian Americans are not a monolithic society. There are different viewpoints, whether it is social issues, economic issues, immigration issues. All of these Indian Americans have, differing views on some of these. There are very, very conservative Indian Americans. There are also very moderate and liberal Indian Americans. So it's not a monolithic society by any means, but it's very, very important that they go, study the 2 candidates. There is a night and day difference between these 2 candidates. Kamala Harris is pro-democracy. She is pro-women's rights. She focuses on small businesses, creating opportunities for people to own their own businesses, start their businesses. as opposed to Donald Trump, he has been very hateful towards immigrants in the past. He really favors the wealthy and the large corporations. He wants to give them the tax breaks, whereas Kamala Harris wants to work for the middle class.
Right. Now, on the ground, there is this sense that Trump may make it. He would be the next president of this country. He seems to have that political edge when it comes to, say, the narrative on economy, immigration. He's also kind of entered the Democrat base as such in certain ways, not fully, but certain ways. Is that a concern?
Oh, absolutely. There is certainly a concern because if Trump becomes the president, he would enforce tariffs on countries like India and China. These tariffs will raise consumer prices, and it is estimated that each person over a period of the whole year may end up paying $4,000 more out of their pocket because of these Trump tariffs. So Trump will not be good for a U.S.-India relation. Trump will not be good for economy. Under Trump, the stock market did not do as well as it did under the Democratic administration. Democrats always do better on economy, and people should remember that. Regardless of the propaganda that Trump has, he has a propaganda about his economic skills, his immigration policies. But really, Trump is running only for one reason: to keep himself out of prison. He's doing it all for himself. He's not thinking about the people, and he's certainly not thinking about the middle class.
Right. Now, I did speak to a few experts, and they said that Trump is most likely to even declare victory on Tuesday night, long before the final results have been out, just to show that he has won and Kamala has lost. Are you worried about a January 6th kind of a incident all over again if Trump does not win?
Yes. He will, talk about winning, even if he doesn't win. He did not accept his loss in the last election, and he excited the crowd. He encouraged the crowd to be hostile towards members of Congress, towards his own vice president. So Trump is quite capable of talking about those kind of issues. He does not have respect for democracy. He wants to be a dictator. He himself said on day one he wants to be a dictator. So this is the kind of person that has no respect for democracy, and we worry about it. We worry about the safety. Last time a mob entered into Congress, made a very dangerous situation. Now, as you know, I represent Michigan in the United States Congress, and if it's a tie, then Congress will have to step in and make a decision on who will be the next president. So there is a lot of pressure on the United States Congress, and we intend to abide by our constitutional rights. We intend to do the right thing if we are called upon. But there is always a chance that Trump will encourage violence and Trump will deny a democratic outcome.
Let's now just shift focus to Kamala Harris and her campaign. What does Kamala Harris, the first, if elected, the first Desi president of this country, the first Black woman president of this country, what does this really mean for the India-US relationship and overall for this country?
Well, it's a matter of pride. She is a daughter of an Indian immigrant. Just like I came to this country when I was 24 years old, looking for economic opportunities, looking for good education. Kamala's mother, Shamala Gopalan, she came to the United States when she was 19 years old, got education in the United States, and became a U.S. citizen. and raised her two daughters. So it's a matter of immense pride to see a daughter of an immigrant, Indian immigrant, becoming the United States president. And it's a matter of great pride for all of us to see that happen, and also to see a woman of color becoming president of the United States. This is the first, this is history making, and this says a lot about our democracy, the strength of American democracy.
Now, on Diwali Day, you did see Donald Trump tweet about the minorities in Bangladesh. He talked about, how it could have been avoided if he was president, and how the current administration did very little or almost nothing towards the Hindus in Bangladesh. How do you react to that? Is this all about, and what do you have to say about the timing of this tweet?
Well, look, it is all about politics. He's certainly catering to the Indian American vote. But look, when he was the president, his record about protecting minorities, protecting minority rights is horrible. He had one of the worst immigration policies, and he did nothing to help minorities, help immigrants. In fact, he encouraged the white supremacists, and he was clearly a sympathizer of the white supremacists, who are very racist, very hateful, and very anti-minority. So all of this Trump's current love for India and Indian Americans and talking about Diwali, this is all politics. He himself is a very pro white supremacist, and he really has never supported minorities, whether it is in this country or elsewhere.
Talking about minorities and another country, that's Canada. Just recently, a group of devotees, including women and children, at a Hindu mandir in Canada, were allegedly targeted by Khalistani supporters. Is this a concern? I mean, considering you're such a prominent voice, you've done the Hindu caucus here in the United States, you stand up for minorities here in the US. How do you read all this?
Well, look, I have formed the Hindu caucus in the United States Congress. I have talked with the State Department numerous times about the attacks on Hindu temples in United States. Now, clearly, the Canadian government is playing politics with this issue. It is trying to please certain minority groups in Canada and are against their attack on Hindus is purely a terroristic act. And Canada government's protection of these terroristic activities need to be deplored. They need to be opposed. The Hindu minorities in Canada, like Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, have a right, they're human rights, and they need to be protected. And I have done a lot in the United States Congress, and I have done a lot in terms of putting pressure on Biden administration to address these atrocities, whether it is in Bangladesh or now is happening in Canada.
All right. Before we wrap, any message that you'd like to give out to the people who are watching this in terms of, the elections, coming back to the elections, Tuesday, the big day, your final message?
Well, look, India is very important. US-India relationships are very important for both the countries. India is soon to be the third largest economy in the world, and America needs India. America needs India to stop the aggression of China. America needs India to collaborate on defense and technology and agriculture and military operations. There's a lot India and US can do together. So whoever is the next president, will be very focused on having improved relationships. And I will work with the next president on improving India-US relationships. While we are just have less than 48 hours before polls close in America, and I urge all my fellow Indian Americans to look at the candidates currently running, look at their policies, look at their character, and make a decision on choosing the right candidate. Make sure that they exercise their vote. This is not the time to sit at home. This is the time to exercise your voting rights, and your voice matters. So please go vote in this election.